Hannah. I am an instructional designer for the virtual campus at Indian River State College in Fort Pierce, Florida. This is my evaluation of the performance of the virtual campus during the college's rapid transition to online delivery during the COVID-19 crisis. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome to my presentation. I hope that by the end of this presentation, you know all you need to know about the higher education program I chose to study. This session will cover the background for the program, the basis for the evaluation questions, the methodology, the significance and limitations of the study, the results, and finally, the conclusions and recommendations. Indian River State College is an open admission college that serves approximately 13,000 full-time equivalent students in the Treasure Coast. Indian River State College has campuses in 4 counties: Indian River, Martin, Okeechobee, and St. Lucie. However, the largest and fastest growing campus at Indian River State College is the virtual campus, where I work. This is a photo of some of my team members and a few of the librarians who are frequent collaborators with the virtual campus. Allison is pointing at the sky because this photo was taken during an eclipse. Indian River State College created the virtual campus in 2013 with the aim of providing high-quality online course options for our students and to lead the way in distance learning policies, strategies, and practices. Since our start in 2013, the virtual campus has helped to introduce 15 fully online degree programs. The virtual campus has served an essential role in the rapid transition to online learning during the COVID-19 pandemic, and the purpose of this evaluation is to provide feedback to program leaders in order to improve operations and effectiveness. I am basing my evaluation on an article called "The Difference Between Emergency Remote Teaching and Online Learning," which was written in response to the national shift of colleges to online course delivery during the COVID-19 crisis. Online education has been fighting for legitimacy for decades. However, high-quality online education requires more than making content available online. Instructional design has risen in the higher education setting in order to meet those standards. So, in comparison to the deliberate and systematic design of online education, the author suggests the name emergency remote teaching for this new phenomenon. The authors define the goal of emergency remote teaching as not to recreate a robust educational ecosystem, but rather to provide temporary access to instruction and instructional supports in a manner that is quick to set up and reliably available during an emergency or crisis. Given the time constraints to respond to the pandemic, the virtual campus did not attempt to transform the face-to-face classes at Indian River State College, but to support the faculty and the students in whatever way we can, including providing trainings, teaching classes on online pedagogy, and providing support to students and faculty. My evaluation is based on the CIPP model: context, input, process, and outcomes. My focus is on the context, input, and process elements of the virtual campus rather than the product. So, instead of learning outcomes, I focus on the effectiveness of technology in a crisis, learner support systems, and faculty professional development, with the hope that this evaluation will provide formative feedback for the virtual campus and Indian River State College as a whole. I adapted my evaluation questions from the article "The Difference Between Emergency Remote Teaching and Online Learning." Were the faculty professional development services provided by the virtual campus sufficient to enable ERT? How can we become more flexible and responsive to the demands related to ERT? Where did faculty, students, support personnel, and administrators struggle the most with ERT? How can the virtual campus adapt their processes to respond to such operational challenges in the future? In order to answer my evaluation questions, I can collect data and feedback on the services provided by the virtual campus during this time. We have a record of who attended training sessions and of all the support emails that were sent by faculty and staff at this time. I can collect data from the course evaluations on the professional development courses and online pedagogy taught by the virtual campus during spring and summer. I can work with the student learning coordinators to collect the information and reports for this evaluation, and I can create a website to provide updates and allow for ongoing feedback from the faculty stakeholders during this process. These methods are qualitative in nature, and I can use existing content to discover themes and trends in the data. I can use a content analysis for the evaluation. A content analysis is a reflective approach in which you review the information you have available and start to identify recurring ideas to develop codes, categories, and themes. This approach will allow me to stay open to whatever trends emerge and to be open to the feedback from faculty and students. I am not looking for a way to explore a cause and effect relationship, but to explore emergent themes from the data that would help me evaluate the products and services that the virtual campus provided during the COVID-19 pandemic. The text outlines 4 contexts for dialogue and argumentation: persuasion, negotiation, deliberation, and inquiry. I think that my evaluation is best aligned with deliberation, which the text defines as the parties in the situation face a dilemma or practical choice of agreeing on the best course of action. The virtual campus finds itself at the most important moment for this organization since it was founded. Online learning is more important than ever, and quality online learning is paramount. Therefore, providing formative feedback for our process will likely be invaluable, and that is what this evaluation strives to do. The organizational politics for my institution are particularly volatile at this moment. There is a pandemic, uncertainty, and a new college president who will begin working with us this fall. The relationship between faculty at Indian River State College and the virtual campus is an ongoing discussion, and one that may be impacted by the change of leadership. I am an instructional designer for the virtual campus, and I was involved in the program I am evaluating, and I should try to prevent bias in my goals, methods, and interpretation of the data. I don't want to argue that the virtual campus did a good job in a crisis. I want to evaluate how well the virtual campus performed during a crisis and what can be done better. According to our textbook, Credible and Actionable Evidence, there are several factors that impact actionability: credibility, inferential potency, relevance, and comprehensiveness. I want to focus on relevance and comprehensiveness, more specifically, the specific comprehensiveness or completeness to answer an evaluation question. Considering that my evaluation would focus on how to improve services offered by the virtual campus for the faculty during the transition to online classes, it would be especially important to communicate my findings to this stakeholder group in a clear and accessible way. When the evaluation is complete, I would like to bring the virtual campus and faculty representatives together to discuss the findings, which I would present in full. This evaluation is hypothetical, but for the sake of this presentation, I would like to speculate that emergent themes from feedback given by faculty and student indicate that these stakeholder groups are unaware of many of the services available to them. Another possible theme would be that they want more support using new technologies for online courses, and that there is confusion about how to access video services. There have also been issues with online proctoring services for the college, and this would likely come up in evaluation of emergency remote teaching. This evaluation explores the success of the services provided by the virtual campus at Indian River State College during the transition to emergency remote teaching in the COVID-19 pandemic. Again, the results are hypothetical, but if I were to make recommendations based on the emergent themes I presented previously, the virtual campus needs to communicate more clearly about the services available to faculty and students. Student learning coordinators can reach out to students, and instructional designers and virtual campus leadership can reach out to faculty. We can identify the products and services that would be most useful and promote them in faculty meetings and new student orientations. In order to provide more support using new technologies, we need to promote the existing training and listen to feedback about where support is lacking. I would also recommend establishing a process to access video services. In regard to online proctoring services for the college, the virtual campus does not run those services, but we do work with the assessment center, so we have a unique position to improve services. We can investigate what problems face the faculty and students and try to come up with solutions, such as creating and distributing training, sending tickets to the online proctoring company, and investigating other products that could serve the same function. My biggest takeaway is that cooperation between faculty and the virtual campus is vital to the success of both groups, and that what we can create together is so much greater than what we can accomplish alone. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation.